Good evening, everyone. Mazazoka speaking to us once more this evening, today, Monday, the 21st of June 2021. As usual, and as it is customary here, I will say good evening wherever you're watching me from. Wherever part of the world you're watching me from, good evening, good evening. Maybe it's your morning, and some of you in the far Southeast Asia. Some of you, it is indeed your morning now. Some of you already in your early Tuesday. So if that is the case, permit me to say good morning to you. If you're within the continent of Europe and Africa, it will be your evening now, and I will say good evening once more. How are we doing today? A lot has happened today. And as you all know, last week, oh, that was a very busy week, I must note. As you all know, last week I did have a conversation here that dealt with the comment made by our brothers that they are, our brothers from the north, obviously. Um, Take it or leave it. It is an idea, and I did make broadcast where I tried correcting some impressions or some innuendos or some insinuations. And eventually, I also did do some research, dug into the archives, and I came up with some things that I think, well, it is good for me to also share with us, as we always say in the great Igbo nation, that he who goes before the king and tells the king on his way back from his sojourn or journey, he must also inform the king. So, having said that, it will be nice, as usual, to know where you are joining me from. Where are you watching me from? Okay. Are you watching me from Zambisa, or are you watching me from Zaaza Room? Wherever you're watching me from, let's take a couple of minutes or moments, 30 seconds or thereabout, to say good evening once more to everyone and where you are watching me from. And for your information, in case you may wish to advertise with Njenje Media, again on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, also on njenjemedia.com and on our various platforms. The Njenje Media TV here, then you can reach us. You can see on the lower banner there, on the bottom, you can see how you can reach us if you want to advertise on Njenje Media. You can reach us by email at njenjemedia@gmail.com or the telephone number that is here. Send us WhatsApp message. We'll get back to you and we can have a deal. So having said that, before I start, I will say there is this fantastic company that is all over the place. I mean, I personally use their services. That means for those of you wanting to fly out of Nigeria and those of you wanting to stay, if you're watching me from the diaspora now and you want to fly into Nigeria, you can select them when you want to do your COVID test. And if you're flying out of Nigeria, Njenje Media has reached an agreement with them that when you use them, normally they are cheap. I think the last time I flew out, I used NCDC a test center. I paid 38,900 to have my COVID test done in Enugu, but they charged 25,000. And even at that 25,000, we have knocked it also for benefit of those of you that come on this platform to say that if you use them, you are going to get extra 2,500 naira off the price you're going to pay, because that's not to us. It has nothing to do with us. I mean, you're not giving us money, but it's good to know that people are watching and you've been keeping faith with Njenje Media. And I said to them, if we're going to do this for you, there must be something for those of our viewers that are spending time and their money and their resources coming back to Njenje Media. There must be something, so you can see that there extra 10% awaits you if you use their services. That is safety, molecular pathology laboratory. So they are in various cities in Nigeria, ranging from the Abuja, Lagos, Enugu, Rangers Avenue, Enugu. Many of you who know Enugu very well. Again, I think they are in Warri, Ughelli, Umahia, or wherever. Name it. Again, if you go to njenjemedia.com, you will see their banner there. Click on their banner. It takes you straight to their website. You can book online there, and you pay online, or you give them a ring. Do not forget, whenever you give them a ring, to say you've been referred from Njenje Media TV. So the moment they hear Njenje Media, they know, oh, we've lost 2,500. That man always want to give people discounts. So that's what they're going to say. But again, if you don't want to, if you're planning to travel out of Nigeria or traveling to Nigeria, if you don't want to lose your money, if you don't want to lose 2,500, you think it means nothing, please give me that 2,500. It's going to help. Okay, so people, let's crack on. So having said that, now, this, when I started looking at the video once more, the video that we all watched last week, I don't know if many of you before, let me see if I still have the video. I might have to play that video before I start my analysis, because I've looked into the history of oil exploration in Nigeria when it started. So because I'm trying to find out if there is any atom of truth in what the gentleman said last week, and sadly, there appears to be no truth in this. Oh, I can see a lot of you commenting on the comment section. Yes, thank you very much for joining me, Hilary Okonkwo, watching from Arkansas, Vienna. Oh, schönen guten Abend, grüß dich. Ghana, Etuse, Charlie, Alpha. And someone is watching from the United Kingdom, Emeka Owakala. How do British people talk again? Oi, mate. Oi. How are you? I'm trying to. South Africa. Oh. Oi, African. Someone is watching from America. That's Stella ABM. So thank you very much, all of you, wherever you're watching me from. It is very nice to know that you are there. So people haven't said that. Let me quickly see if I can get that video that, that's going to help us get back quickly into the analysis for this evening. So that video, as we also basically in that video, where the individual in question is saying how the Northerners built the refineries in the South. Again, before I start, this time around, I'll let this video play uninterrupted, after which I will then respond to that video accordingly.
Parasite. Today we are declaring that we, the Northerners, are the economic heart of Nigeria. And nobody can address us as parasite. We are the economic heart of Nigeria. The oil that is so being busted on today was discovered, harnessed, and the refineries were constructed with the northern Nigerian sweat, with the northern Nigerian economy, with the northern Nigerian money. The money of granite, pyramid, and cotton was the one that was used to research, discover, and build the refineries that are some other part of Nigeria are claimed to be their own personal property. If that is the case, we also deserve, just like NNDC and Niger Delta Ministry, there should be a Northern Development Ministry that should also be given the same amount of money that is given to NNDC, because our money was the money that was used to develop the oil. That's number one. Number two, those that got education, early education from the south, southwest, and southeast, got those education from the northern economy, from our own money, from the northern sweat. And by the grace of God today, the northern Nigeria also, even if you are boosting of oil, has been discovered in Bodejo village within Gombe Bauchi, and Taraba along the Chad Basin. And that was why those people are instigating the Boko Haram, so that there will be no peace in that area for us to be able to harness the...
Now, I would want to know when he refers to those people, because he started by saying that southern Nigeria is, the oil in southern Nigeria was discovered with not, granite oil, granite money, right? Granite, the pyramids. It was discovered, the exploration, the refinery, everything was through that. And I think that is disingenuous. That is basically barefaced lie. That is not correct. So having said that, let me quickly, I don't want to go too far. I mean, there are research that are done on this. These are, if you go to Justa is a journal platform. You can see a lot of research work. You can see a lot of empirical work done on this. So there is no need spending time on such. But let me do the following. Let me quickly just do the basic. I think why I want to use that, because sometimes Justa, not everybody can have access to it. Sometimes if you're not, it's a subscription service. But let me quickly go to Wikipedia, right? And we just reference that. I mean, it's a very simple thing, and it's only one section that I would encourage us to do. And quickly, while I'm doing that, if you so wish, in case you're watching me on the computer, I can share the link with you, because these things are there for you to verify yourself as well. Okay. So while we are doing this, if you can like this video, share this video, let others know that this education is happening here. So you can see that there. And so can you see the link that I just shared? So if you can copy that link so that you don't get distracted from what I'm about to show you, then that will be much appreciated here. So on this note, I will go on full screen so that at least it becomes legible. While you're watching me, you should be able to read the same thing that I am reading. And then it appears. So you see, the thing is, I hope, these things happen whenever I'm doing something serious. Sometimes they just kind of, pitch you off. But hey, who cares? Now, I'm going to do that again. If they like, let they keep yanking me off. Who cares? We will keep, again, staying in the, staying with facts. So let me know if you can hear, you can see my screen. Let me go full screen so that I'm going to, do the following. I'll read it out as well so that we understand what I am. So from the link I've just shared, I'm going to read from here. The history of oil exploration in Nigeria. Now, I highlight this and I read it for you. It said the history of oil exploration in Nigeria started way back in 1903. Now, pay attention. In 1903, there was no Nigeria. There was no Nigeria, so that we get that. Then, and when Nigerian Bitumen Corporation conducted its exploratory work in the country at the onset of the war, on the onset of the World War I, defense operations were stopped due to the lack of technological and financial resources. Note, financial resources of small oil companies. Large oil companies took over the exploration of commercial oil in the country. Thereafter, licenses were then given to the Archer Exploration. Again, you can obviously, who is the Archer Exploration? If you go back here, it's here. William Knox Archer was a British businessman who was one of the principal founders of the oil and petroleum industry in Persian obviously Gulf in the Iran. The Archer concession was signed in 1901 and allowed the Archer to explore, obtain markets. So obviously he started his expansion then. And Whitehall Petroleum, both, neither company found oil of commercial quantity, and they returned their license in 1929. A new license covering 920,000 square kilometer, that is about 357,000 square miles, was given to Shell. Okay, you see, blah blah blah. But now here it gets interesting, so that we know. Look at here, where it now says the association was granted license to explore oil all over the territory of Nigeria, but acreage allotted to the company in that original license was reduced in 1951. Now note, 1951, Nigeria has started existing, but Nigeria was not independent at that time. 1951, you had Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. They have started their campaign for liberation of the nation from the shackles of colonialism. You have late Pa Awolowo already. Before then, you had also their mentor in the person of Herbert Macaulay. These were men that were already in this struggle then. And then between 1955 and 1957, eventually drilling activities started in 1955 with the test well drilled in where? Please pay attention. In Owerri. The same Owerri you hear today, and the only thing, it appears the only thing we can hear about Owerri now is ungun men and the Supreme Court whatever, right? Again, oil was discovered in non-commercial quantity in Akata, near Eket. Again, for those of you, if you don't know where Eket is in Akwa Ibom. That was in 1953. So prior to the Akata find, the company spent around 6 billion, please people, so that when somebody who comes on national TV to spew garbage, we do not let that person just go home unchallenged. That prior to this time, the company, which company? Here, Shell and British Petroleum, at that time known as Anglo-Iranian, right? These were people who spent 6 million pounds as of that time, as of 1953, on the exploratory activities in the country. The pursuit of this commercially available petroleum. Shell, BP found in oil in, again, pay attention, Oribiri oil field, an offshore oil field located in Obea local government of Bayelsa. You see the trajectory. All within that time, we are still within the eastern Nigeria, not southeast, not south-south. First discovered in Owerri, eventually Akata and Bayelsa. So this trajectory, it's very, very important in this conversation. Now, eventually, after all said and done, more, obviously, we have discovered the Ogoni territory. You can see that Ogoni, they have their flag, you know. Production of crude oil began in 1957. 1957, 3 years before Nigeria became independent in 1960. Now, please tell me, between all this time that they were doing all these things, how did they not pay for this? It gets interesting here. Now, eventually, here towards the end of 1950s, non-British firms were granted license to explore for oil. Mobil, in 1955, Tenaco in 1960, Gulf Oil and later Chevron in 1961, Ajip in 1962, ELF in 1962. Prior to this discovery of oil, Nigeria, like many other African countries, strongly relied on agricultural exports to other countries to supply their economy. Again, pay attention here. That's going to be my second presentation. Nigeria depended on agricultural export. Agricultural export. Now, I will stop this particular one. Have you seen that now? This is where we were before until 1960. But again, I don't want to go beyond 1960. I want to go back again. How were we doing by regions as of that time? How well were we doing? To do that once more, I will go back to the archives. I will go back to 1916 and bring to us a report by Lord Lugard himself. You know, it's not like now that everything is mumbled up, mumbo jumbo. Then, even when the British were, yes, they were colonizing us, but boy, they were providing accountability. They were providing services. All the things the British left for us, north, south, east, and west, since they left, we've just run them down like mad people. We have not improved on not single thing, not one. Not road maintenance, not new infrastructure building, not airport, nothing, not a single thing that they left that we have improved upon. And we call ourselves a sensible people. Now, that is number one. So I go back to this because this evening, just honestly, again, I don't think, let me not dwell too much on this because I don't think I would probably do this again. Let me quickly go and find this file. Hold on. Oh, sorry. I think I need to. Okay. So just bear with me quickly. Just give me a couple of seconds. Let me pull up this second file here. I thought I had it. Okay. Yes, I have it here. There are two files. I'll open up one that is basically the letter that would explain the next item that I would share with us. And this is it. This is it, people. Brace yourself. Once more, thank you for joining me on this evening. I wouldn't say this is a conversation. This is a lecture. So thank you for joining me. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please kindly do. If you have, just for the benefit of the lecture this evening, share this video with all your friends. Let them understand this fact, because we cannot be in a nation that have destroyed history, doesn't want to teach history, and we cannot allow people to be spewing lies and making people believe in things that are not true. If these things are not challenged, how do we know the facts? Okay, so like it on. I saw someone dislike on Facebook. Oh no, why not? All this effort. Okay, so let's. It doesn't matter. Let me quickly go here. Okay, I hope you can see my screen now. Right, you can see this. Please read with me. This was Lord Lugard, F.D. Lugard himself. This is a letter he wrote, 26th January in 1916. He wrote, "Sir," he was reporting back to England, and he wrote, "Sir, I have the honor to submit the annual report on Nigeria." Remember, Nigeria has been created 2 years before. For the year 1914, that is the year of its amalgamation. In the preparatory of which I have received the greatest possible assistance from Mr. Cameron, who then, Mr. Cameron, was the Central Secretary. You see how courteous they could be in their communications. And now he said, "I regret the unusual length to which this report has had extended, meaning the report is not a summary as he used to send before. The report is now an extended report. Again, he now said, it is primarily due to the unusual importance of the events of the year under review, that is 1914, right? The year under review, which had witnessed the amalgamation of two administrations, the North and the South Nigeria, into a single government, and the outbreak of war in Europe. That is when the First World War broke out in the the Germans, Austria-Hungary. Okay, with its consequence war in the Cameroon, which eventually soldiers were taken from Africa. Okay, so this is the preceding letter that Lugard sent. You see that? Is it getting interesting? So let me come back now and share the second one so that our eyes will finally clear for those who are still doubting. So now this is the second document here. Again, pay attention, do screenshots, do whatever you may wish to do. Now, this is what was sent to the United Kingdom, and this is the breakdown. Articles as they were referred then, commodities such as cotton, piece of gold, copper, stores, yarn, whatever, corrugated irons, blah, blah, blah. He said the principal exports were as follows. Export. Again, remember that in the first Wikipedia report I showed us, they said that in that time before the discovery of oil, Nigeria was only receiving revenue primarily from agricultural export. Therefore, if anything was funded, which was never funded anyway, nothing was funded because the explorating companies paid their price. You saw when they spent £6 million to explore, which amounted to nothing. Eventually, they now came back again. The principal exports were as follows, as compared with 1913. The value given are those at the port of export. Please pay attention. Cocoa, we know, I don't need to explain to you. Any person who is over 18 years, you know where cocoa comes from in Nigeria, right? So attribute, in 1913, the revenue from cocoa then was £157,480. Eventually, it jumped to 171. Cotton, you saw it, 159. Eventually, somehow it reduced. Height and skein, granite. Pay attention to height and skein. Yes, we know height and skein is north. Now, and you have granites. Okay, if you add 505 as of 1914, add 197, you can work out the figure. Then we couldn't entirely place it. It could be middle belt, it could be north. However, it could be south as well. But the cocoa of the matter is when you look at timber, we know timber again is south because that is again Yoruba nation. If you take 86, take 171. Now this is the cocoa of the matter. The east, 1.8 million. As of 1914, we are talking about 1.8 million. As of 1913, we're talking about 1.8 million. 1914, it came down to 1.5 million. So tell me, isn't it logical that one of the reasons, according to Lord Lugard's argument, one of the reasons of merging South and North together is not only for administrative purposes, but also because of budget deficit. The revenue, the export revenue being generated from the north was not able to pay for the expenditures. So if the East then, or call it South, as a collective as it is today, is able to pay theirs and have surplus, then in their case, it made sense to merge these two entities together. People, are we still in doubt as to when you are being lied to and someone is there saying that, hey, we built all the refineries and you're here telling us one story or the other? I think one thing we need to all route for is mutual respect. Mutual respect. I do not subscribe and I do not like it when, some of us refer to our brothers from the north as parasite. That is insulting and that is degrading. We can agree and disagree on issues, but I think we can keep the conversation civil. However, it doesn't matter when someone tries to misrepresent facts. It ails me because I deal with facts. The facts are not finished. Why engage in propaganda? Let us keep drilling the facts. So if you just oppose and put the first report and this report and the letter from Lord Lugard himself, you find out it is clearly written in black and white how we got here. So suddenly I ask this question again. If, as you can see from the revenue of 2 years before, if you can see that this is clearly, there is a margin there. The margin is so much. You cannot compare just from palm oil alone. You're generating, within that 2 years, you generated over 3.5 million within that 2 years. Sorry, 3.3 million, 3.4 million roughly. You generated over 3.4 million pounds. It's not comparative. It's not comparable to when you have 197 and 507. So it's not even anywhere coming close. It's not even up to 40%. So who is going to pay for who? Why are we going to lie that we built refinery where we didn't? Why? Again, thank you once more. Thank you for being part of this program. I would, we'll keep doing what we do best. So as I've said before, these are things that we must refute. Let's make tangible argument. And this takes me, I hope I take questions before I move to the next topic. I take questions. I'll take some of your comments. Right on. Okay, Maz is okay. You can politically correct all you. Well, again, you can be political incorrect and insulting all you can. That doesn't make me to join you in that level of madness. Sorry, I won't. Okay. So it's everybody mustn't be mad at the same time. Sorry, but people, we can do better, right? Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. So again, these facts are here. You can dig this fact. I think if you're just joining us, you can go back to you can go back and look at the beginning and see. So I'm going to do the second part, the second leg of this. You heard that Buhari has actually said there is nothing to restructure. Buhari, there is nothing to restructure. And I found this statement by the president very, very, it's a tragedy. You know why that thing is a tragedy? Not by any other thing, just, it's as a result of, this is a party that promised restructuring. How do you tell people to come out next day and take your party? You told them in 2015 you're going to restructure. When the clamor was so high during the time of Oyegun in 2017, you called your party together and said you have what you call the APC Restructuring Committee. You brought out a report which had referendum in it. We will look at all these things today, honestly. These are facts. No one is lying against anyone here. So if this is the case, and Buhari now says there is nothing like restructuring, let's listen to this argument, after which we will now look at the promises made. Where is the Arise TV today? Let's listen to this argument.
His voice against proponents of restructuring of Nigeria by foreclosing the debate when he said there is nothing to restructure. Buhari said this during the launch of Kudirat Olayinka Sabongari Zaria Peace Foundation at the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. He said those who are discussing restructuring have nothing to talk about, noting that some of them have not even studied the 1999 Constitution, which he describes as about 70 to 80% the 1979 Constitution. Southern and Middle Belt Leaders Forum, comprising Afenifere, Hadez and Digbo, and Middle Belt Forum have been at the forefront of conversing for the restructuring of the country. The president also said that he will not cede power to those who can't win elections in their domain. Nigerians have been urged to embrace diversity, coexist peacefully, and do away with any idea of secession. Notable speakers at the launch of the Kudirat Sabongari Peace Foundation in Kaduna said Nigeria's unity is non-negotiable. They're also calling for a review of the country's national security architecture to incorporate traditional rulers. Arise News correspondent Nisi Gabriel reports.
5 years after her death, Kudirat Olayinka Adeyemi Abiola, popularly known as Kudirat Abiola, is being honored for her contribution to Nigeria's democratic struggle.
If things go wrong and the democracy doesn't work, then it means only one thing, that my father and my mother died for nothing. And there's no way I can let that happen. So this time around, we are going to assist the government to look for solutions to problems.
The late Kudirat Abiola was born and bred in Sabongari, Zaria, and this foundation is launched at a time when Nigeria is bedeviled with insecurity, secessionist agitations, and a myriad of others.
Community leaders can also serve as early warning agents, and they also serve as fast responders. If there is a problem in the community, people run to them. If there is fire, death, but they are informed. So they now lead the community to finding solutions. But my position is we are neglecting all of this.
President Buhari's representative says agitators of secession should redirect their energy to demand the implementation of local governments and judiciary autonomy.
So one of the things that will bring back peace in our community and in our nation is that autonomy must be respected, and I will urge our governors to respect that constitutional provision. Mr. President is emphasizing on that message, that this nation under his watch shall remain as one Nigeria. All those hotheads talking about separation and other things, they are very, very much ignorant of history, and they are very, very ignorant of war.
It's believed that the lack of proper knowledge of Nigeria's history is responsible for several breakaway agitations.
That is what they call civic studies. Even that civic studies and government, which tend to replace history, is not well taught in any of our primary and secondary schools. And because, you see, if you don't know yourself, you will not appreciate yourself. That's the essence. You understand? We know what Nigeria is and why Nigeria came to be as it is today. All these problems that we are facing would be reduced to nothing.
There are calls for Nigerians to embrace unity and eschew tribal differences. The Kudirat Abiola Sabongari Peace Foundation aims to ensure that the vision of democracy and the struggle of Nigeria's heroes past is not in vain. Nisi Gabriel, Arise News, Kaduna.
All right. Thank you so much for that report, Nisi Gerbal. Tundu, your views?
Well, I think we're seeing an emerging trend of a more expressive president. He's been a lot more open, whether or not that openness is greeted with dismay, because I think this is a very dismissive statement that was read at that event on his behalf. And talking about how the 1999 Constitution seeming to imply that it has legitimacy because it's 80 or 90%.
Now, before I continue, I can obviously see that some of us, I've said several times here, the philosophy of this platform is let the eagle perch and let the kite perch. That's also the philosophy that guides that underpins the larger Igbo philosophy, live and let live. Now, some people are saying if the president is saying there is nothing like a restructuring, but what would those who clamor for restructuring then now do in a laughing way? If you want to drive that comment further, one can also say, okay, the president in the same way said here, those who are calling for break up of Nigeria as well, that they should help support the local government autonomy. I mean, this is a report that we just read here. He said that. So if you twist it, you can sarcastically also say, okay, those that want to break up Nigeria, and now that the president say you can't break it, what do? You see, it's not neither here nor there. That's why sometimes, when people fight over mundane things, you must fix your eye on the ball. What is the ball? The ball is that Nigeria is not working. Nigeria, as it is today, is not benefiting you and I, unless you're part of the plutocrats, unless you're part of those that is making the system not to work. But as long as you are a genuine person working, be it in Nigeria here or in the diaspora, aching out your ass, trying to make a living genuinely, the thing is not working. Therefore, we must lend our voice. That's why, honestly, I have issues when people look at Sowore and begin to attack him, for instance. And I'm like, listen, whether you attack Sowore or don't attack Sowore, whether you attack NSAS or you don't attack NSAS, all of us are suffering from this thing. So whichever thing anybody can do, if your own is to agitate for the nation to break, and that is what you believe, genuinely believe in, of course, go ahead. Why should anybody attack you? If your genuine cause of what you believe in is that once this nation is restructured, that is going to favor everybody, or if you believe like myself, I have said it multiple times, I want us to return to regional governance. And when someone says, okay, yeah, then go and get regional governance, how are you going to get it? Then I'll say, okay, then go and get your independent nation, how are you going to get it? But there is one thing you and I can always get. We can always insist that even within this structure, even however that structure is skewed today, we can always demand for accountability, and those little that we have within the states and local governments, that accountability should be the key. My good friend, Dr. Dameji, is formerly with the Sahara Reporters. Now you know him, Dr. Dameji. Say, I don't know how to translate that, Dr. Dameji, if you're watching. Please help me out. So even if at the end game will be that you have a certain, like the way it was before amalgamation, you have certain in a protectorate, where even Lagos itself was a different entity. And sometimes it appears we all forget history. Anyway, but I like the argument put together or put forward by Tunde and Ruben Abati in this case. And once they've done their own argument, then I can basically now come back again and show us what is actually, my own point of view as well. Because one thing I want to do, I want to build on where they stopped. I want to go back to the APC manifesto. And before anybody accuses me of getting a fake one, before all of us here, I will log on to INEC and I'll pull up the one that the manifesto that was given to INEC. We'll now go back and make search here. All of us will do it together. We will see what was the content of the APC restructuring report before the last election. And now question is, what is holding them from? Because listen, people, all these agitations here and there happening today, if they had honestly gone ahead and implemented their report, yes, I believe it. You might disagree with me, but I believe that the decibel of the noise being generated now would not be as loud as it is. Because, for instance, one of the 12th items in that report was referendum. Again, everybody says, give us referendum. It's a question of why are we forgetting? Because if we are able to push them to implement their report, you have a way getting what you want. Because now referendum will become part of the constitution, where you can now go back and say, okay, since it has become part of the constitution, we can no longer probably elect anyone who is not going to support referendum. And then you begin to put forth, what type of referendum do you want? Do you want a referendum to create a Southern Republic, or, I don't know, or recreate Eastern Republic the way it was, or recreate something else? I don't know. But whatever it is, there ought to be a structured way of doing these things. And just give me a couple of minutes. We will get to that, because this thing is very interesting. And if some of us are not paying attention, just like when we had these confab report, 800 and something pages report, I read it back to back. And I asked myself, that's why sometimes I get angry with Goodluck Jonathan, because even Goodluck Jonathan, there were things that ought to have done with the executive bill. And that's why sometimes I'm a proponent of single term, because listen, people, second term makes a man impotent. What do I mean? When a man goes for second term, he wants to, he promises things he cannot deliver. And, he begins to compromise so much that if I knew I had only 5 years or 6 years, for damn it, anything I will start, I will ensure that with alacrity, that at least understanding the mentality on governing our current stage of development, that things, if handed over to the next government, can be discarded. Then I should endeavor that even now that I have the time as a president, I should do it all, not waiting for. And Goodluck Jonathan was waiting, hoping that when he had won election, he would, the next, he would do it. But the next person came in, the rest is history. So let's
adopted from the 1979 Constitution. That's frankly beside the point. Even the 1979 Constitution is flawed. That's not what we're saying. And all of this would be an opinion, would be a position that the president has taken, if not for the fact that restructuring was a part of the APC manifesto. I actually personally hate repeating myself, and I'm sounding like a broken record on this show, because you must completely adhere to what you have promised the electorate in your manifesto. You do not get to cherry pick what you have promised. It is a contract, a political and a social contract. And I'm going to read exactly what that manifesto says. It says, APC promised to initiate, in quotes now, initiate action to amend the Nigerian Constitution with a view to devolving powers, duties, and responsibilities.
You see, this is what the APC said. Now she's reading it. Listen, we will read it like in nursery school all together. We will read it
to
now.
States in order to entrench true federalism and federal spirit. So the president, it's unfortunate that 6 years later, he decides that he doesn't need to adhere to this, and then is now being dismissive of voices legitimately calling for APC to fulfill the election promises and saying people who can't win elections in their own domain. I don't know what that means. It's actually very discouraging. The 1999 Constitution is a military enactment. That is no foundation upon which to build a democracy. And we can see it. This is why our former generals, former military dictators, are quite comfortable to remove their uniform and don an agbada and become presidents in the Fourth Republic, because it's all too familiar. It also protects the military legacy of a highly centralized government. And this is not working. We can all see it is not working. It's most discouraging that the president would say this at this time.
Well, public opinion is...
Hey, listen, Onyenimo, we will ban you from this room. You are corrupting people. He said, other room philosophy, second round, no get power like first round. I don't understand what you're talking about. Please, don't corrupt.
An important part of the democratic process. When the leaders in a democratic dispensation disregard public opinion, then they lay themselves open to the accusation of autocracy. And therefore, it is not surprising that over the weekend, the Christian Association of Nigeria has had to accuse President Muhammadu Buhari directly of autocracy, what they call democratic autocracy. I don't know whether you can use democracy in the same phrase with autocracy. That would be an oxymoron. And what is clear is that there is an emerging trend of intolerance of opposition views, of other people's views, and I do not see how you can run a democratic system without listening to the people. Only last week, Southern and Middle Belt Forum leaders had a meeting. Ohaneze was there, Afenifere was there, the Middle Belt Forum was there, Pandef was there, and their major conclusion at that meeting, and they've been consistent in that regard, is to insist on restructuring and the need for a people's constitution for the people of Nigeria. In other words, a new constitution. But what the president has done at this Kudirat Foundation event at Ahmadu Bello University's area is to just say that all these people, stakeholders from different parts of the country who are calling for restructuring and a new constitution do not know what they are talking about. It talks about people are calling for an obscure conference. In other words, the president is telling us invariably through his spokesperson at that event, Executive Secretary of the Revenue Mobilization Committee, Shehu Bello, that there's no need for any dialogue. He also said whoever wants to say anything should go through the representatives in the National Assembly, and that no government is going to allow people who cannot win elections, who have not even experimented with partisan politics, to be the ones who will determine the direction of the country. The irony, however, is that the same APC, which the president leads, promised Nigerians restructuring. The same APC set up a committee led by El Rufai to look into the necessary details. And here we are at this point, the president, the leader of the party, the ruling party, repudiating what his own government promised Nigerians. And he has been very consistent in that regard, and that is what Nigerians should really worry about. That you have before you a government that is not interested in public opinion, and that says our way is the only way. Now, that shouldn't be the way forward. I wouldn't be surprised if we're told before the end of today that Bello Shehu went before his brief and that he wasn't speaking for the president. He probably was reading the wrong script.
Okay.
Don't be surprised.
As always.
If we're told that.
As always, that's always the script anyway.
Anyway, you see, people, you've heard that now. My take here, following. It is a tragedy that the all progressive, in the words of Buhari, all progressive confidence. It is a tragedy that all the progressive confidence, or as some people will say, all promises cancelled, would keep quiet. And something like this is happening. And eventually they will come back and say they want to have the vote of Nigerians. How? If you have failed to adhere to the promises made to Nigeria, even those that did not vote for you. So what is the benefit of those that voted you in? Remember, in 2019, let's look at this. There are three things we'll look at: the comments the party leaders have made, we'll look at the APC manifesto, and we'll look at the APC restructuring report, and we'll look at the items one by one. Just bear with me a moment. I will start with the following. Let me quickly go into what the party leaders said about their report before we now get into the manifesto here quickly. And this is okay. So here is So this information, you can see my screen here. This is Guardian newspaper, not any other newspaper, right? Written on the 29th of July, and it reads, Buhari has endorsed, Buhari immediately after they won the 2019 election, he says, Buhari has endorsed APC report on restructuring, said Oshoba. President Muhammadu Buhari has endorsed the report on restructuring Nigeria presented to him by Governor Nasir El-Rufai of All Progressive All Progressive Congress, or All Progressive Congress. So, does this committee, now look, the report, so for some of you who are arguing whether you support restructuring, let us drop those things. The fact here remains, are you being lied to? If you're being lied to, why? Let me expand this so that you can read it with me, please. Are you being lied to? If you're being lied to, that means the president is lying to you barefaced. Here they are saying Osoba is party leader and they said they've met. And the question is actually when and where. In journalism, you are being taught about the 5H and 5 Ws. You know, where and when did this event take place? So you can watch, you can see here where he says the president, Buhari had, okay, look at it here. Buhari had not been categorical on the issue of restructuring of the country, predicating his stance on the ground that its advocates were not forthcoming on what the details entail for the polity. Ask yourself, when a president who campaigned on restructuring, his own party had El-Rufai lead a committee, and the president is telling you that the advocates of restructuring are not coming forth with details. But the president's eventual acceptance of the idea was disclosed to the State House correspondent yesterday by former governor of Ogun State, Olusegun Osoba, after he met with Buhari in the presidential villa. He told Osoba that he was going to then restructure. Now, this is number one. Let's come back to this. Having seen this now, let's go back to INEC. Let's get to INEC and see what APC submitted. I don't want to go to their website so that somebody can say, oh, maybe they hacked it, they changed it. Let's get to INEC. Because after watching this, you can go back and do the same thing. You see, this is INEC. That is Nigerian Independent Electoral Commission. So here we go to parties, political parties. We go to their manifestos. You can always go back and look at the party political manifestos. So let's go to, where is it again? All Progressive Confidence. Where are you? All Progressive Confidence. Have they removed you? All Progressive Confidence. Okay, look at it here. All Progressive Confidence. So we'll click on it. This is the Constitution. This is the manifesto. So we don't want to look at the Constitution. We want to look at the manifesto. Okay, so the manifesto opens. That opens in a different tab. I just want to show us that. Let me quickly now open the manifesto tab, right? So that APC manifesto opens. And this is the APC manifesto here. Now, because I don't want to read everything in this manifesto, let me quickly do search. That is Control F. Let me do restructure. I find two words that start with this, right? And this is it. This is what APC promised us. When it comes to reform, we believe that, let me highlight it so that it's, anyone following can also read. So when it comes to reform, we believe that the APC's vision for the nation will restructure governance in a way that kickstarts our political economy so that we can begin to walk the path of a better future. That's what they promised. Second one, it says here, the APC common sense solution. Again, they say, we will, in oil and gas, ensure the passing of a workable petroleum industrial bill, yet to see it happen, restore the NNPC into a more efficient, commercially driven unit, strip it off of regulatory power, and enable it to tap into the international capital market. Your president is the Minister of Petroleum. We have seen how efficient NNPC is. The refinery that he owns does not produce oil. They import oil. Kaduna does not refine any oil. They import petrol. And this is the efficiency that is being promised us here. Where is it? On the polity. On the polity. Let me, because this is the restructuring document here. So anybody telling you, now, on the polity, tell me if we have gotten to this, gradually increase public spending to 30% of GDP over our first term in office. Was this achieved? No. What is it? Introduce, look again, introduce a comprehensive economic development plan for Northeast Nigeria to tackle the long-term economy. Again, you see, was this achieved? Yes. Question is it because it's in the Northeast? You be the judge. Okay. Modernized our poorly equipped and paid security forces by a phased doubling of security spending to 15%, including an increase in their wages. Has this been done? My people, where are your SWAT? We closed we sold monkey and we bought chimpanzee. Where are your SWAT team? We closed SARS and they formed SWAT. The SWAT is still in the document. It hasn't metamorphosed into anything. So people, when you go back and read these things, you keep asking yourself, obviously you've told us these things, what is it? Okay, now again, see. Enhancing federalism. Devolve control of policing and local prisons to the states and give them the right to nominate police. So now, you see, when we talk about state police, some exactly the same way you talk about restructuring, they will begin to look at you as if you're coming from Mars. Why do you need a Bubago and why do you need a Moteko? If you had state police, all these auxiliary, whatever, you just lump all these funds into providing a structured policing system. Yet this is what it's in the manifesto here, that they're going to devolve control of policing, local government prisons to the states and give the right to nominate states police commissioners to the governors. 8 years down the line, has this been done? Capital no. Expand the role of Council of States to act, and when you look at all these things, okay, look at transparency, for instance, strengthen and operationalize the Freedom of Information Act, blah, blah, blah. These are things that are here before. Tell me, in these things, what is it that we have actually, done? Look, introduce a legally forcible code of conduct for all public offices, including elected representatives, with stringent sanctions. Seek to amend the Constitution to require the federal and state governments to publish the minutes of their meetings, service performances, data, spending items over 100 million naira for state and federal government and 10 million for local government. People, have you ever heard of something like this? Has this been done? No. What is happening? what is happening? We are, again, look, end all private jets and first class foreign trip for government employees. I cleared throat for this one. I know of someone who studied in England, and that person is close to the presidency, and that person is a photographer, and we all saw that person, a woman, using presidential jet to go and take photos. Sadly, that person is president's daughter. Look at it here. I didn't write it. These are promises made to us. People, it is time we begin to wake up and open our minds. This same thing must be done in states. As we are holding this federal government accountable, let no one be deceived. The state and the local governments get 48%, while the federal government get 52%. That's a variation of 2%. We must hold them to account while we still hope and work to get to our destination. The destination is not here. It's not here to Huru, people. What am I saying? In essence, if I go back to the first page, that was page 26. If I go back to the first page, just to read, oh no, I don't want to read the 4 words, it's just nothing. Now look at this. Look at this page here. We believe the Nigerian people need immediate relief from the unnecessary hardship 16 years of rule by the incumbent government has imposed. I don't know whether what the 16 years of the previous government, if their 16 years of imposition is, I don't know which one is the 6 years is heavier than the 16 years. I don't know. You tell me in the comment section. Recovery. We believe our competent management and leadership will ensure, look at it here, will ensure Nigeria can begin to repair its diminished institution and processes of democratic governance. Tell me where. We are in this country where the National Assembly was invaded by masked men. Again, reform. We believe that the APC vision for the nation would restructure governance. Again, restructure, not me, I didn't use this word. They are the ones using this in a way to kickstart our political economy so that we can begin to walk the path of better future. Nigerians, are you walking the path of better future? It is just writing, mumbling words, conjuring words, bringing them together. APC manifesto, yati yati yata, ya 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 ya. Let me see if cow there inside itself. Hold on. Oh, okay, cow no, then only echo was. Okay, cow there inside this manifesto. I didn't know before now. Police and law enforcement. It says introduce cow system in our major cities and maybe we weren't paying attention. No? They told us ab initio. So I just discovered something now. They told us ab initio that they will introduce cow systems in our major cities and towns. And we didn't pay attention. You see? Train police in the role of guardians of the Constitution. How? Let me see whether cow there again. ECOWAS, okay. This cow system now, wow. Now, wow, people. You see it? Have you seen it? Now, let me come to the last part and the last leg of this conversation. Let me come to the last part and this last leg of this conversation. Everyone, thank you for joining me. Hit the like button, share this video, and let others join us. Support the channel if you can. And quickly, I'll get to the last part, and the last part is very important. There is a reason it was left for the last. The last part is when, or rather, the content of the restructuring document as was promised by APC under Buhari. It's not under PD. Forget 2019 report. Sorry, 2014 report. That was PDP. Buhari said he hasn't read it. He's not going to touch it. He's not going to read it. He has discarded it. So that one is finished. It's been burnt. It's been shredded. Let's come back to the one that is real. Okay, let's come back to the one that is real. And the one that is real is as follows. APC restructuring document. So I just want to do the following. I think if I look at the document, the part of the document, the one I think that gives us the summary is this. You can Google it, or I can as well share the link so that we all see. Okay, and this is it. It's the summary of it, published in 2009, 19 July. Restructuring 12 unforgettable points. Basically, these are the points of what the report was about, right? So forget all the preambles, the words. Let's come to here. Merger of states, state merger, that states that are not viable could merge together. Derivation principle, again, that this will be looked into, blah, blah, blah. Devolution of power. Do we not understand what devolution of power is? It was dealt with. Basically, looking into the exclusive list, which is more or less the main issue of contention here. Now, physical federalism was looked into. Independent candidacy. 6 years down the line, there is no one is pushing for independence candidacy. Man says, okay, thinks he can do better, then he can go and contest. But no, you can't contest because you have to go through the rotten system of party politics where the delegates would all wait for you to come and give them their money, the shares of the money that they wait every 4 years. Now, judicial reform. Judiciary here, local government autonomy, in fairness, and as a fair commentator, this is slightly accomplished, but the states are now being the one that is actually putting up bottleneck on this, because if the governors do not want to lose the 22%, I think, that they get from the local government, so they want to still sit tight and hold that. Now you look at the revenue allocations, is the same. The question that, or rather the citizenship question that has to deal with Federal Character Commission, discriminatory, the question of indigenship, and all the recommendation here. You see the mother of them all here, referendum. So when some of us just talk about as if you haven't insulted anyone, that it's referendum is what you want, as if referendum is not going to fall from heaven. It is only a process that can bring about a referendum. So if understanding that referendum is here, isn't it maybe also to, be smart that let some people be pushing for this report to be implemented, because once it's done, it will decongest some of the things that will now make there is no working port in the Southeast, for instance. Because when it decongests, then a state can now say, okay, let's build our own, because now it is within our remit. It's no longer controlled by the federal government. And when you look on that referendum here, it says the committee affirmed that our constitution, that in our constitution, there is no provision for referendum except for the creation of state. It is believed that having referendum in the constitution will be a panacea to some of the agitations in the country, especially the agitation of Republic of Biafra, as championed by the indigenous people of Biafra. For the fact that the party is mentioning IPOB in this report. Yet it's the same report that the same government of that party said they were terrorists and banned them. But in their report, they still reference them. You know, people should be wise enough to know when you're winning a war. For me, that's a plus. That means your cry, you know, the decibel of your noise has gotten to a point that people are taking note. Just like what, you know, the same way the Oduan nation now, you can see that people are saying, okay, we want to do it now. While some are still saying, well, devolution of powers. Because even with the things you talk about within the dual nation, if you devolve power and give states, you can still control your region. It can still come back to the same way, you know, Awolowo them, how they control the region. When Emma Okpara was at the helm of affairs in the eastern region. The eastern region was one of the fastest growing economies in the world, had the highest number of budgetary allocation to the educational sector. So you can decide. Awolowo didn't need federal government approval and yati when he built the first television station in the southwest. Neither did he need that when he built the Cocoa House, when they built the tallest building then in the southwest. They didn't need to do that. And these are things, look at this one, public holidays. The committee recommends that the public holiday be moved from exclusive list to the concurrent list. If you do this, then states can now say on the 29th of every month, because it is within our rights now to legislate this, because we lost 3 million people in 1966 and 1970. We want to take every 31st or 29th, whichever date we want, to take it as a day of remembrance to mourn our death. We should erect, we should build museum or refurbish the Umuahia War Museum, to Jukubonka, do whatever we want to do for our own. These are things that could be taken care of. State police, again, their report, that is the last item there, also referred to state police. So all these things are there. That's why I think sometimes when you now hear when you hear the president start talking the way he talks, you see like, it's either he's not telling us the truth, honestly, and that's what I believe, because you could not authorize these things to be done. Yes, I know, as Tanko Yakasai once told me on this platform, that the reason why they didn't implement it, because Buhari felt that Oyegum ambushed him. But again, party stays even when you have finished your tenure. Party stays. Party is supreme than individuals. Party is greater than individuals. So why can't the right thing be done? Because at the end of the day, people, the agitation, it's just like when the people were talking about, when during the colonial time, something must give way. One thing is very certain, that those who think that the agitators are merely noisemakers are dreamers. Because the decibel of noise being produced by the agitation will make you so uncomfortable that you begin to listen by force. As they say, whether you are an agitator, you're agitating for Dudua, you're agitating for what is called Barafawa Republic, Bafawara, I think, or you're agitating for Igbo nation, or you're agitating for Biafra, or you're agitating for Ijaw nation, Ogoni, or whatever nation you're agitating for. All is about restructuring. Because you cannot, when you break something, what it means, you are taking a different structure to an existing structure. The structure today is status quo. You want it remodeled. Some say, no, I don't want it. Don't give me the regional governance. I want an outright breakaway. Some say, no, 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 no. I want regional governance. Whether you want regional governance, you want outright breakaway, you want outright renegotiation so that you can call it yours, all of them is about how do you structure the system in a different way. But there is one thing common in all of these, whether you want it broken down, whether you want it structured, whether you want it to maintain, there is one thing very, very critical and one thing that is universal in all this. That is referendum. Referendum is when you now come and now ask the people, okay, I've heard you. There are diverse opinions. Can we now vote as adults? Let everyone who is 16 and above come in now. Let us vote. What is it that we want? That's where referendum comes in. So when you now, when we basically begin to argue against reason to say, no, it's or this or nothing. Well, if you castigate someone who says he wants restructuring and you're laughing at him, okay, Buhari has said there is no restructuring, go and get it. The same person can turn around and say, okay, he wants a breakaway. Buhari has said there is no breakaway, go and get it. It's, all of you are the same thing. So why fight yourself if you know that both of you are seeking for the same thing? Absolutely the same thing. Both of you have something in common. The structure today is not working. It's not helping you. We must come down from our high horses, irrespective of the side of divide you are in, and begin to know that for you to move forward, both sides, truth is, there must be compromises. And this compromise could be, okay, I've heard you, you put forward your argument. And again, don't forget that even that referendum, there will be a period of campaign. Let's say you want to do referendum now. There will be a period of campaign. That period of campaign can be 3 months, 6 months, we don't know. Everybody will now come out and campaign and give reason. This is no longer by force. This is not, if you don't do it like this, we'll kill you. No, no, no. This is going to be reason. When Scotland, no, not Scotland. Yes, sorry, yeah. When Scotland wanted to leave England, or rather, when they went on campaign, even the then Prime Minister David Cameron had to go to Scotland to help his people, retainer or remainers who wanted to remain within the United Kingdom, to campaign and give reasons why they will remain. All these things were done in a civil manner. No one was macheted, no one was pursued, no one was insulted. It was a civil conversation. We must learn and we must know that these are civil conversations, these are processes. When the United Kingdom wanted to leave the EU, it took one man over the years who has been campaigning, Nigel Farage, who has been campaigning over the years for this to happen, until when David Cameron jokingly challenged him, saying, okay, we'll ask the British people yes or no if they want to. He'd never believed that the British people would say that they want to come out of EU. Bearing in mind that human beings are emotional beings. If not for the Syrian crisis, where people sat at home and they were seeing pictures of Syrian refugees at the moment when Germany was taking about 1.2 million refugees in Germany, and there were cases of rape in Karlsruhe, in Munich, in several places. So that human fear, oh, let this thing not overflow to us. Sadly, when that referendum came and the people went out to vote, and those who wanted to come out of EU won. It was a shock, but hey, that is where democratic principles come in. They won. That must be respected. After 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years, if the generations that come later want to say, okay, we want to go back to EU, it will be subjected to referendum again. So no one, Nigel Farage, they were all campaigning. People said the NHS, they could save so amount of money from the amounts they pay in EU. Campaign, TV, advert, everywhere. As it is, it seemed as if it's a local election campaign. But these things are the processes. So the reason why I'm taking time to explain this to us is that we must please, especially when we comment, anyone that goes contrary to whatever you think that person stands for, without asking, you begin to insult. No. None of us, even if we divide everybody into 4 groups, the people that say they want one Nigeria, that they like the way it works today, that they enjoy it, those people that don't talk because it gives them succor. The people that say, no, we must break it in any way we want. The people that say, hey, people, let's, do this in an orderly manner. Or the people that say, let us have this regional government, let us revert to 1963. Irrespective of where you are, the common denominator and common unifier is to say, okay, these are our various stands. We must do something collectively. We must keep pushing whatever you are pushing to the point that the state, who has that coercive power, the power to, that we, the people, have the power to force the state to begin to listen. That when the state now listens and says, okay, well, how do we progress from here? We must be smart that at that point to begin to now say, okay, this is put forward your argument. I put forward my own argument. He put forward his own argument. She put forward her own argument. The regions put forward their own individual things. These things are aggregated, put in a ballot way, and say, can we go and ask the people? It's not something new. Before Southern Cameroon left Nigeria, remember, NCNC was Nigeria and Cameroon then. So it wasn't something new. Before they left, that even some part of Adamawa, they say Atiku is Cameroon and all the rest. Before they left Nigeria, there was a plebiscite. Plebiscite is referendum. Referendum is questionnaire. There, your name is there. Do you want to be part of this nation? Yes, no. If you cross, yes. Do you want to have this so republic? No, I don't want. Regional republic? No, regional governance? Yes, no. This one? Yes, no. Maybe 4 or 5 questions. You mark it, you take it. Majority of it can be done electronically. People will decide, and the moment people decide, the outcome will be binding on all of us. The outcome. Let's say, for instance, you do it, and people say, "Oh, we want to break it. We want to break it into Oduduwa Republic. We want to break it into Biafra. We want to break it into Bararafa or whatever." Or Lower Niger, but the nomenclature is irrelevant. If that's what the people wanted, sorry, it must be respected. However, if the people say, no, we don't want to break it, but we want to renegotiate, or we want to go back to regional distance, irrespective of what you think, it's also because it becomes the wish of the people. Where the issue is that the people feel that they are not part of the process. That's the first liner of this constitution that you have today says, we the people. And the argument is that the we the people is not a representation or a true representation of the will of the people, because at no point did the people make that statement that we the people are demanding for something like this or the other. So on that note, people, you see, again, I think What's my conclusion here is that the president needs to be schooled. The president needs to, you know, how do I put this? The president needs to be more open-minded. I feel that he's too kind of closed, you know, in those the way he thinks is not allowing new ideas to flow. And that's why anyone talking about just going back again and electing, you know, that's why sometimes when I hear people talk about electing all these old people, I hear about Atiku the other day coming up, you know, and or somebody will talk about, you know, say, now, wow, get better people. Yeah? Why do you actually want to go into an election? Why don't you just sort these problems now? Let everybody know that these things are sorted out before you talk about any other thing. Anyway, let me take some of your questions or some of your comments. Then on that, then we'll begin to wind down a little bit. Udeze says Nigeria has expired. That's an opinion. That's also could be said to be true. Nigeria needs revolution, yes, especially revolution of the mind, because I think sometimes we can be too primordial. That our mind also, as a people, needs to be you know, liberated. You have always been a broken record. Okay, champion APC. I don't know who you're referring to. Okay, I think you're referring to Arise TV. Arise TV current shape shifting is due to Tinubu's sliding chance. Well, people, honestly, if I tell you what I think personally about Tinubu, I think Tinubu, my personal opinion, I don't think Tinubu will contest the election. I think Tinubu is too. I think Tinubu, I'll put it this way, Tinubu, to me, is too fragile to withstand the election rigor. Health-wise, I mean. I think but as someone who understands the crookedness of electioneering in Nigeria, he's trying to use his presidential ambition, quote unquote, to corner whoever is going to be the next president. So that it will be, okay, I'm conceding to you, therefore you owe me. I don't know if you get my, honestly, I think, or maybe I'm being too straightforward. Maybe, you know, these people, you don't know, you never understand how their brain works. Maybe somebody doesn't understand their capabilities. You know, suddenly it appears Baba is on something that he can now make statements everywhere, run everywhere. You wanted him to speak. Now he's sparking. So he's sparking like a spark plug. So don't enjoy his sparking. On your dot, good evening. Thank you. Alon Jesus, thank you. Mazes, okay, do you believe in Biafra or Nigeria? Again, you're probably not listening. You're not listening. If you're listening enough, you should, I mean, it's something you have. Okay, listen, irrespective of what you believe in, there is something facing you in the face, right? And the solution, if you want, the solution is not Oduduwa, it's not Biafra. The solution to what is facing you is not Oduduwa, it's not Biafra. The solution is a collective South. I don't know how else to say it to you. Within the collective South, you begin to negotiate your way. What is it that the people want? You cannot impose anything to anyone. If you know all the nyama that Nigeria has done, we as a people must be in a position to seek from the people what they want. Whatever it is that the people want collectively must be respected, and that should be done. Okay? Okay, anyway, I've answered that one quickly. Thanks, Beko. Okay. Great economic analysis. The Fulani just threw out words to bamboozle. I tell you. You are defending Nigeria because you are one of the beneficiaries of terror. Oh, who are you people referring to? Is anybody here defending Nigeria to the point of benefiting? Honestly, I don't think any of us watching this stream now, close to 400 people watching now, I don't think any of us benefit. Listen, I don't know whether they think know they reach on our side. They think they pain, they pain. Nothing. It hurts, it pain, but we got to get out of. Referendum is the answer. Yes, referendum is the answer. I agree. At the end of the day, you need to ask the people what they want, and that is what referendum. So again, I hope many of us understand what referendum means. It's not a form of governance. It's only a means to determine what the people want. Not because if you look at how many people that are here now, people writing online, people writing in the newspapers, there are thousands or millions of people who do not have access to such, and they have their own opinion. So there must be a way that their opinion also should count in order for us to aggregate what we want. But I know the answer, that if you do a referendum today, based on the realities we have today, I think I know the answer. I know what the people will decide for. Let them try it. We know where we go. Binyaka and he go clear for their eyes. He go clear for their eye. But we all know those people wanted to be part of Nigeria, Mazi. I don't know which people you are talking about. It's a big pity that the guys in APC will not force Buhari to restructure Nigeria. Okoye, man, that one beats me on. Honestly, I think that's the saddest tragedy. That's the saddest tragedy, that the APC is not able to, convince, coerce, however word you want to use, to get the president. No, I cannot tell you. Okay. Oh yeah. You want me to ask you? So let us do a poll now. Can I do a poll? Let me hold on. Live chat. Let me see if I can do a poll. Oh, I can't. I think I was able to do that the other day, but not on my phone. If I can do a poll, I will let us in the community section. Actually, let us do a poll now. For those who want restructuring, type 1. Those who want referendum, restructuring is 1, referendum is 2, and to maintain status quo is 3. That means Nigeria is sweet as it be. So you want to maintain status quo? Wallahi, I will come to your house and slap anybody that puts 3. See, referendum. Don't vote. See, this is what we call democracy. So let's vote. Let's vote. We'll aggregate the result. Let's vote. So to restructure Nigeria is 1. To call for referendum is 2. And to maintain status quo is 3. So everybody have your say now. I'm reading. If I see anybody vote 3, I'll come to your house. Don't tell me you made a mistake. Don't vote 3, because if you vote 3, wallahi, if I'm not able to come to your house, I'll come to your dream. I'll come to your food while you're eating. I'll bag my baby and put it in your food. Two. Two, 3. Okay. Why they talk 3? Okay. So let's. You see, let's bring this thing to. Let's bring the this thing to the screen so that people can see the voting pattern. This is even better than INEC election self. It's even better than INEC election, you see. So you can see the results are coming in. The results are coming in. So while you're doing that, share this link, share the video, like the video, invite everyone. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do by all means. See, the results are coming in. You're looking at it on the screen. So they're appearing on the screen. There are someone has rigged an election. Chimo be voted twice. See, that's rigging an election. That is na so they take start. And say na so they take start. Make you no go rig election. Make you no go rig the referendum. Come myself. So 222, you can see we have one as well. See 222 everyone. So this is across platform. This is across platform. This is whether YouTube, whether Facebook. We have no votes coming from Twitter, Periscope, but at least Facebook and YouTube. James says, restructuring will dilute their powers. Referendum will probably lead to the same. So, according to James, it's one and the same. Nabife. Ifa Kandun is one. You see? So I think if it's in the National Assembly, the rubber stampers will say, and the eyes have it. But in this case, see, we are making progress. We can basically walk away today and saying that the referendum have it. People, we do not, there is no single vote so far. There is no single vote so far for maintaining the status quo. Doesn't that tell us a lot of things? Doesn't that tell us that even a baby knows that the nation is not working? Everybody is saying it, see? So share the video. Let others who are doubting, let them see the result also. That's 2-2, but please don't vote twice, because if you're voting twice, you're rigging the election. So where is my offer? See here, we must knock the table and say, and have you finished voting? So on the powers bestowed, votes are still coming in. 1. Titan now. Titan, no, you won't make we tight you. No, they vote twice. Okay, voting has stopped. And the referendum have it. People, very simple. See, that's exactly what we are talking about. When something is so straightforward that once the vote stops, once the counting stops, and everyone understands that the result is now binding. You see? Congrats in advance, everybody. So that is it. So if you understand that referendum is the issue, now, if we understand that the APC in their own manifesto, let us play a reverse psychology on them by insisting, because this is what they have produced. If they've been calling us names, say we want to break Nigeria, we want to do this, you want to do this, we'll teach you language you understand. Okay, Oga, don't teach us. Let us play a smart one on them now. Let us reverse the argument. And the argument is very simple. Oga, give us that thing, your 12 points. I've shown it before. Give us your 12 points. Because therein is a referendum. We get what we want through the back door. People, let's apply this thing, let's lose no life. This will not be, we never reach. Let's lose no life. Because once you get to the point that they implement this, because the argument is, oh, there is no referendum in the Constitution. Okay, but you promised us. You're coming for 2023. It's not going to be only 2023. See these 12 items. Now, forget 2014. It's not you. You didn't do it. Now, PDP, now 16 years, let it be with them. But your own 12. Oh yeah, bring it on. We got to be smart as a people. We don't need to lose lives on this. Reverse psychology. Let the voice, let the decibel, let it, loud it. From today, we have won referendum. It is very clear on this platform. But we must now begin to push it because they have it there. It's there. It's just a question of, okay, implement it. Don't worry. You see, when you talk about somebody starts talking about cow. When you get the referendum and you decide on your own how you want to be governed, all these things will go away. All these things, let them agree first. Let them agree first that we're going to have a referendum. Isn't it? Or should I ask my good friend that has actually, my good friend also voted in this referendum. And let us ask it. And after voting, how do you feel?
All right. Have you voted?
I'm voted, yeah.
Okay, so
I'm happy I'm voted, yeah.
tell me your feeling after voting today.
Yeah, after voting, I'm feeling okay. What I want, I get it on the result. I'm getting the party I want is the one going on. Thank you for that.
What are you expecting from these people you voted?
I'm voted, they can do what you want, and then when they want, what they want, inshallah, we'll happiness more.
You see, now we have voted. And I am very happiness I voted. And I'm very happiness you voted. Now we have voted. Inshallah, we can do what we want. Now the result in the ballot, we get the result we want. We are happiness more. Are you not happiness more? Tell me. Are you not happiness more? People, are you not happiness more? Inshallah, I am happiness more. You watching me, are you not happiness more? We have referendum now. Are you? If you're happiness more, I am happiness more. Eh? Abi, you won't be Niger Delta where they do willy.
On the hour from Niger Delta Broadcasting Service. My name is Andrew Uweri Okere Ajapasa. Yesterday, some angry Warri Jaguda boys carried dangerous weapons like a cutlass, iron pole. I went down to the Borikoko oil facility. When they reached there, the security people vanished into the bush like willy.
Do you want to vanish like willy, or you want to happiness more? Me, I don't want iron pole. I don't want cutlass. I don't want machete. I want to be happiness more. And like my friend, I am happiness more. Because we are not lying. Or do you want to be like
my 7-year-old grandson called me and said, Grandpa, tell me the truth. Why did they call you Liar Mohammed?
You see, we are not lying. We're just, we're saying the truth. So tell me, I am happiness more because of this party. This party, this evening, the voting, we have voted. And we have voted, and I am happiness more.
All right. Have you voted?
I'm voted, yeah.
Okay, so
I'm happiness, I'm voted, yeah.
tell me your feeling after voting today.
Yeah, after voting, I'm feeling okay. What I want, I get it on the result. I'm getting the party I want is the one going on. Thank you for that.
What are you expecting from these people you voted?
I'm voted, they can do what you want, and then when they want, what they want, inshallah, we're happiness more, isn't it?
Exactly. Inshallah. By the grace of Chukwuka, I am happiness more. Even if it's Ibn Babi, it doesn't matter. We're happiness more. We voted, we saw the result, we called out the result, number 2, 1, and we are happiness more. Inshallah. So, Madala Segwebe. Are you not a happiness more? I don't know about you. If you are not a happiness more after voting, kai, your problem cannot be solved by me. If you're not a happiness more after voting, my problem cannot be solved. I cannot help you because your problem, look me, your problem is a big, fast me, your problem. So people, as we are rounding up now, once more, let me tell you, if you're flying out of Nigeria, for those of you in the diaspora, if you're flying out of Nigeria and you need your COVID tests done, you can go to Safety Molecular Pathology Laboratory across the nation. They are in Warri, they're in Abuja, they're in Lagos, I think in Ikeja. They are everywhere. So you can basically go there and get your tests done. Okay, so, and their price, if you go to the NCDC, they charge about 38. The last time I paid 38,500. But this one, if you go directly to them, they will charge you 25,000 for your PS test, and they will send the result comes out within 24 hours. They are very quick. And that is to certify your your fit to fly, because you can't fly into Europe now without this. And this is authorized by NCDC. They are in Lagos, Abuja, Onitsha, Umuahia, Bini, Owerri, Warri. So the good thing why I'm showing this here is that once you call them on the number you can see scrolling on the bottom and on this screen, if you call them to book your test, tell them that you're coming from Njenje Media, they're going to give you extra 10%, meaning 2,500 discount. Well, if you don't like saving money, you can also ignore Njenje Media, but if you like to save money, you can utilize that. That is what we have done for you. So for those of you who may wish to advertise on Njenje Media, you can contact us. We can give you fantastic deal. We have a Njenje Media website, that is the blog, where we publish news. Anything we publish are verified and authenticated, so we do not engage in any propaganda or lies. On that note, people, everyone, because I am happiness more, I am going to say good evening, everyone. Thank you for being part of this evening broadcast. It has been a pleasure. If not for anything, many of you, we disagreed, but let us disagree in peace. We disagree somehow to agree. But this evening, we have one agreement by a wide range of margin. One thing that has become very clear is that we, the people on this platform, want nothing but referendum. On that note, we must go back and begin to demand that the APC implement their restructuring document which contains referendum. Imagine this. If someone has been calling you name, oh, you want to break their fine Nigeria. No, the nation where they work. Oh, we find our diplomat. Oh, they know they kill anybody. Oh, this, that. Suddenly you've been demonized. Let us play their card. Turn the table. Let them not do our own now. Do the one that they promised. Because in that one they promised, our own too there inside. Win-win for everybody. On that note, people, I say thank you very much for being part of this program once more. I am still Mazes. Okay. Remain blessed and good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're watching me from. Thank you. Good night from here. Bye-bye.